How you doing?
Back for the second video.
Good, the intro's over with.
Back for the second video.
Idiot.
Back. Like and subscribe. Okay, anyway.
Anyway, we got some interesting stories to talk about today. I think there's something like mentally wrong with us. But
we did the Bleacher Report thing. What sport was it for?
Hockey.
Hockey. Was it last week? No, 2 weeks.
It was last week.
Was it last week? Where they'd had like the most bizarre hockey stories. Well, we're doing that for
Soccer.
Soccer today.
And you got the first two, and I'll get the last three.
Yeah, I'll do the first two. So, I guess the first one we're going to get into isn't like funny. It's just something kind of interesting.
Now, do you want to just to be safe? This is by the Bleacher Report.
Yeah, it was written in 2013.
And the story is by Dan Talintyre, January 1st, 2013. Just to give credit.
January 1st. Wow. Okay.
So I just want to do that just to be safe.
That's fine.
But you want to get into it?
So, first story, somebody has to miss soon. So, this story is about the highest scoring penalty shootout of all time. It happened in 4th Division Argentina, in the 4th Division of the Argentinian League. And he talks about it on here, how he says, you might not know about the 4th Division in the Argentinian League, but that's okay. But it was, okay, let's see if I can get these names. Juventud Alianza.
Juventud.
It has to be how you pronounce it. And General Paz Jr. I don't know who General Paz was.
General.
General Paz, that's what it says.
General Paz?
General, I guess it would be if you were speaking Spanish. But I guess it was a cup final. So they tied their two legs on 3-3 aggregate. So they went to a penalty shootout. Penalty shootout ended up 21-20, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. More amazing than that is there was only one missed penalty. The final penalty. The final penalty for Alianza by Ruiz, who had his penalty saved by the goalkeeper. Up until that point, all 40 penalty attempts had been scored by the penalty takers. 40. 21-20. It was 20-20 going into that.
That's insane.
And he saved it. So, the other goalkeeper failed to stop all 21 penalties, which is... I would assume you'd get one just by luck. Hitting off your foot, or them just missing, hitting the post. That's just crazy to me. But yeah, that was pretty much the end of the story. But that's just a ridiculous 21-20, and the only one missed was the last one. But second story, it's kind of funny and I guess kind of depressing at the same time. Okay, let me find it that way I know what team it was. Okay, it was a team called HFS Loans. Oh, okay, it was a team called Congleton. Or Congleton, okay, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's in the HFS Loans League. It was in '93. Okay, they had a young fan that they thought had passed away for the team. So they were holding a moment of silence. And as they were holding a moment of silence, the fan walked onto the field. Imagine how awkward that would be. All the players are sitting there in a moment of silence, and all of a sudden he just comes walking. What's going on?
How did that happen?
I don't know.
How did they not know?
It doesn't even really explain it. They had to cancel it when the fan walked into the ground to witness the ground in his moment of silence's memorial.
You know how funny that would be?
Just imagine everybody's reaction.
Dude, you're dead. What?
Dude, you're dead. What's going on? What are we holding a moment of silence for?
You.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. But you're gonna get into the last three.
Yeah. Now this first one, don't dream it's over.
Yeah.
This one's kind of crazy. Kind of reminiscent of the Arsenal Reading thing.
Yeah.
Where Arsenal came back from 5-1 down, I think.
Yes.
But this was Charlton Athletics 1957-58 game against Huddersfield. The game was played in December 1957, where Charlton were reduced to 10 men after 27 minutes. One of their players got a dislocated shoulder. And back then you couldn't make substitutions.
That's the part that's amazing to me, is that there were no substitutions.
Why would you have a second team?
That makes no sense. Why would you have anybody else?
I don't even know if they did. But he went to the hospital due to the located shoulder. Substitutions were not allowed. Almost immediately, Huddersfield took a 1-0 lead, which you would think, it's going to be over. Huddersfield would continue to build on the lead with 2 goals by Alex Bain and Bill McGarry. I have no idea who. And then eventually they would get to a 5-1 lead.
Yeah, with 27 minutes remaining.
Right. They had 27 minutes remaining in the match. And then something ridiculous started to happen. Johnny Summers and Johnny Buck Ryan. I had no idea those players.
Good old Buck, man.
But they scored a goal apiece for Charlton, made it 5-3 in a span of 2 minutes apart. And then they scored a goal in the 73rd and 78th minute, tying the game 5 goals apiece. And then in the 81st minute, they scored another goal, made it 6-5. With barely any time remaining, they scored another goal. Huddersfield scored a goal with 5 minutes left to make it 6-6. And then in a final second left in the game, Charlton scored a 7th goal to make it 7-6 and the game ended. So, in the manager, the Huddersfield manager was just, he stood there with like his mouth open, like he had no words.
What do you say to that? You know, think about how amazing that was to watch for the fans who actually stayed to watch that game.
That's insane.
I mean, there was probably, I don't know, a lot of the fans had probably left, but the ones that were left probably made more noise than anybody all time. I don't know if they were playing at home, but I mean, that was just
home squad.
something amazing to watch.
It said most of the home squad had left, so they probably thought that it was over with.
Man. It's still amazing to me if they didn't
it was 6-5 in the home squad. I think I can't remember, but anyway, it was ridiculous, the comeback.
It might be the greatest comeback I've ever heard.
Yeah, I think it is. Now that's transfer bargain. This one's just funny. You always know about the winter transfer window.
Yeah.
In a lot of sports.
Yeah.
But the transfer opened and officially opened in 1998 with the transfer of Ion Radu. I think I've heard of that guy.
I've heard the name Radu. I don't know if it's the same guy.
Romanian midfielder. I think I've heard of him.
I think
was sold by second division Giul Petrosani to Valkaya.
So smaller clubs probably.
During the official transfer window, all of which sounds normal, but he was not sold for a monetary price. The midfielder was sold for a 500 kilogram of pork, which was worth about 1,750 at the time of sale. Giul Petrosani, club president, said that the meat will be sold to pay player salaries. Just for some fun, should Cristiano Ronaldo make the $100 million transfer from Real Madrid to Paris Saint-Germain, that some tabloid media outlets have suggested that would equate to around 29 million kilograms of pork. Can you imagine if people were just bringing in truckloads of meat?
We need more pork. Bring it in.
Ronaldo.
It's for Ronaldo.
That's around 630,000 pigs. That's terrible. I would hate that.
Yeah.
We're going to go into this country and take all their meat away. This is for the Cristiano Ronaldo signing. We're selling our country for Cristiano Ronaldo.
I'm not going to say that. But.
I almost said something terrible. But now we get to the final story, which is just funny. It's funny and ridiculous.
All fogged up. This is probably my favorite one.
Hey, I'm going to get into the story. Let's go ahead, James.
Go ahead.
My phone stopped.
It stopped working. When you hit the...
Now it's just on the story. I guess it should have told... I guess it was telling me to shut up. I guess I just stopped.
I was wondering what you were doing. I was waiting for you to start.
All fogged up. Arsenal players played a friendly against Dynamo Moscow. Okay. This is 1945 at White Hart Lane.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Despite urging the players were urged the referee to stop the game.
Should have probably.
Yeah, they should, right. Because the fog was so thick that you couldn't see in front of your face. It was so bad. But the referee decided to make the game continue. Don't understand.
You can't even do anything. You can't call anything. You don't know if anybody scores.
The game turned into an absolute farce as both sides had their own set of rules during the game. Which I don't... And they suffered their own bad luck because of the inclement weather. Moscow at one point made a substitution but didn't even take players off. Fans were watching the match with what they could watch. They couldn't even see the field, but fans were in the stadium for some reason.
I guess they paid for their ticket. They're going to stay.
They eventually thought that the Russian team had up to 15 players on the field. And the whistles would just keep blowing and players would just run onto the field.
What is my thing is, what are they blowing the whistle for? You can't see anything.
Arsenal tried to make the best of some conditions with one of their players who had earlier been sent off. He was out of the stadium. He got a red card. I don't know how they called it a red card because they couldn't see anything. They just gave the guy a red card. He ran back into the tunnel, and then they saw him they saw him sprint out of the tunnel back onto the field. And he sprinted out of the tunnel. He was like looking side to side, and he walked back onto the field.
Why not?
And he played the remainder of the game. However, they did suffer some bad luck.
I just picture this in my head happening.
As the goalkeeper thought the ball was going into the net, he sprinted at full force and ran his face into the pole, and he knocked himself out. And he laid in the goal. They said they found the goalkeeper. Their players found their goalkeeper laying on the field like that, knocked out cold. And they had no idea what happened. All they heard was just a ding.
Oh my
and they turned around. They didn't know what happened. They thought the whistle blew. And they said their defense walked back because they thought the ball went in. And they walked back and they saw their goalkeeper just knocked out. And they thought something happened to him. And I guess he ran into the pole. It was because he couldn't see. This might be the funniest part. One of the fans, they saw him running down through the stadium. He leaped over the barricade.
And jumped on the field.
And grabbed the goalkeeper and drug him off out cold. Took his gloves, put them on, and started playing goalkeeper. While he was in goal. And the real goalkeeper was laying knocked out cold, back behind the goal.
So they didn't even care about the guy's health.
No,
they were worried about winning the game.
They drug him off the field. And no score was reported. They don't even know who won the game.
How would you wouldn't?
There was no score in the game.
Why didn't the referee stop it?
That would be like thing. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of a recess game where a bunch of players just go out and
sprint at each other full force and just run into each other.
Even that doesn't happen in recess.
Probably look like Red Rover or something out there.
The guy was knocked out cold and they drug him off.
The guy, they didn't even care about him. We need a goalkeeper.
What was that one video we watched of Craig? Where the guy got kicked in the face repeatedly.
Oh yeah, and he did the volleyball one too. Yeah.
It's like an obese homing pigeon.
Obese.
Anyway, guys, that's it with our funny stories.
Those are some funny stories.
That might be the funniest story.
That might be the funniest one ever. Because all you can imagine, it sounds like a Monty Python movie or something. That's what it sounds like.
It sounds like that video we watched. It sounds fake.
It doesn't sound real. It doesn't sound real. Yeah, that's funny.
But anyway, guys, that's with our funny stories in our second video today. If it's one you're watching again, we're gonna have a podcast coming up soon. This sport eventually, maybe.
Yeah, eventually we'll get into it, and when some of the other ones go into off season. But we're gonna do baseball, basketball, and hockey for right now.
And we may switch it up.
I mean, hockey and basketball are close to being over. So as soon as those are over, we can jump onto one or two other sports.
And we may just switch it up. If you feel like some off time, maybe when the playoffs get deeper.
Yeah.
And there's some time off between sports.
Yeah.
There's nothing to talk about. We might do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, that's it with Cody and James. Come Sit Sports. Make sure to like, subscribe.
That notification bell.
Leave us a comment. We'll see you in the next video.
Good day.